my father died. They say a maid is good end. Oh, bonny sweet Robin is all my joy.
Thought and affliction, passion, hell itself, she turns to favour and to prettiness.
Go to thy deathbed, he never will come again.
Seen you taking pictures of the house.
Yes.
You interested in Clopton House?
Yes.
How so?
Trying to do research on the links between Clopton House and Shakespeare.
What link is that?
There was a girl in the 1600s who lived here who we think that Shakespeare based Ophelia off in the play Hamlet.
You'd be talking about Margaret Clopton then.
Ophelia became iconic, particularly in paintings by the pre-Raphaelites in the later 19th century. And so Lizzie Siddal, for example, the great pre-Raphaelite model, was painted as Ophelia. And so those images have got a very powerful hold upon the imagination and in the culture.
You know about Margaret Clopton?
Yeah. I know about Margaret and her sisters.
That's brilliant.
Would you like to know some of the history then?
Yeah, that would be really helpful if you don't mind.
Right then. There was Margaret, Mary and Charlotte. Margaret was the eldest. A very lovely young lady by all accounts, kind and gentle. She was madly in love with the Duke's son from nearby Stratford, and they were engaged to be married. However, 1 week before the wedding, Margaret heard that her beloved husband-to-be eloped with her cousin from the next county. Poor Margaret's heart was so badly broken, she decided she didn't want to live anymore. So in her pain and despair, she threw herself into Clopton Well and drowned.
You really know your history.
I've been the gardener here for a long, long time.
Yes, so the Margaret Clopton case is it's certainly interesting. The young woman who dies from drowning after falling into a well. Certainly, scholars and historians are always on the lookout for sources for Shakespeare's characters and plots. And there's absolutely no reason why Shakespeare couldn't have taken some inspiration from this unfortunate case.
Then there was Mary, the middle sister. She was kidnapped by a gang of thieves and held to ransom.
What happened?
The family refused to pay the ransom. So the thieves threw her from Clopton Bridge and she drowned in the River Avon. Legend has it the swans still gather there to mourn her passing.
We don't really know many details about the Clopton case, except for the fact that it was doubtless known to Shakespeare. They were a Catholic family in Warwickshire. Shakespeare's mother was a Catholic, and there's certainly, it has been argued that Shakespeare himself may well have been a Catholic, although it's very difficult to be a practicing Catholic at that particular time.
The youngest was Charlotte. At the age of 16, Charlotte came down with what was called the sweating sickness. When the sickness took young Charlotte, she was laid to rest in the family vault. A year later, another family member passed away, and the vault was duly opened to lay the family member to rest. The mourners were horrified to find that Charlotte's body had moved. She was found leaning against the entrance to the tomb in a vain attempt to escape the crypt. Her family had inadvertently buried her alive, condemning her to a long, slow death in a dark chamber.
That's a truly terrible story.
It's not a story.
It has to be a story.
It's only a story if you don't believe it.
Something that's worth bearing in mind, though, is that Clopton House was for years rumoured to be a treasure house of Shakespeare's manuscripts, and even at the end of the 18th century, so that's over 150 years after Shakespeare's death, there were visitors going to Clopton House in the belief that they would be able to unearth Shakespeare's papers there. So I think the connection between the Cloptons and the Shakespeares was probably fairly close. But until more evidence turns up, which unfortunately seems unlikely, the case remains open.
Getting back to Margaret, I read that the well is still here and that if you put your ear up next to it, you can hear whispering.
That's very true. But the well is mostly bricked up now. Would you like to see it?
That will not come again. No, no, he said, go to thy deathbed. He never will come again. His beard was as white as snow, black than was his bow. He is gone, he is gone.